Good day to you, my fellow Endo skeletons. I'm Kenetor and welcome back for another Starbase progress report. We're on week 33 of 2021, and if you're new here, I bring the latest news and updates of everything Starbase every Monday. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss out. Now let's get to it. With the stability of the game getting better with each patch, the devs, while continuing to fix more of the bugs, have also been finishing up some of the new features coming to Starbase. The roadmap has moon bases and mining, as well as capital ships slated for August. Now this was always expected to be towards the end of the month due to all the launch madness, but last week we had a big PTU or Public Test Universe patch that brought the very first pieces of this into the game for testing. I made a video on this patch yesterday, so please check it out after this video if you haven't already. But one thing I did note during that video is that I didn't think that this would be a candidate for the live build, and it appears that Lowry has also confirmed this too, saying it was a testing grounds update, and indeed not all on the PTU will come to live. We are likely to see multiple patches to the PTU through the week as they refine and add new bits to the features in testing. Frozenbyte has continued refining their progress reports again this week, and it seems many of you liked the new format as well as the explanations that I did last week, so I'll be keeping this up for you guys. And it looks like we've got some good stuff for this week too, so stay tuned for that section. Another big announcement that came in fresh today is the devs are finally accepting ship submissions again. But before I explain what that means for you, I want to go over why you have been seeing so many issues with existing ships in the shops. So all these ships were submitted during the closed alpha of Starbase. Some of these players have dropped off and some ships may be long outdated. For the rest, the devs cut off any updates to ships a few weeks before CA had ended, and we hadn't until today had the option to get these updated. So that's why you find things like resources used that aren't available anymore, or the ship doesn't have working GPS systems, or the majority of other problems that the ships may have. While many ships in Rando probably won't be updated, I can tell you that both myself running the Keybot shop and others running the other big shops as well will have been working hard on updated blueprints. And I think I can safely speak for all of us here in saying that the updates are coming to most ships very soon. And we thank you all for your patience on waiting for this. We have all been dying to give you more updated ships to use, with a big one being installing the latest ISAN so you don't have to go through the hassle of doing it yourself, as well as other features for crafting which none of us had any info on during closed alpha. So hang in there, big changes are about to happen in the shops. Now for you guys, I've linked the forum post below for instructions on how to get your own ships into the rando shops, or even apply for a small or large shop yourself if you have enough ship designs. In case you didn't know, the rando shops are there for anyone to submit to, and if you have an awesome design you want to share without giving away or selling the blueprint, this is the way to do it. Ship shops don't however give the designers any profit or ore, and it's purely for the reputation and to supply you with fun or useful designs to use. Eventually these shops will be phased out in favour of ones built and run by the players themselves, and these players will have to build and supply the ships to the shop in order for them to be sold. But this of course will need many supporting features to be completed first, like manufacturing for example. Diving into the forum now for our next Lowry quote, and here he details about station storage and the switch to physical storage. He says the limited station storage will most likely remain as it is, and the crate storage that is coming to expand it. He also adds that stations will also most likely convert to one station storage instead of the current personal ones, and when that happens, you'll be mailed your items back so nothing can be lost. This one has some big ramifications for stations, meaning anyone with station access to store or items can also take out stuff that they may have not put in there in the first place. Now this will be great for company storage, but bad for company insiding, and also bad for anyone planning on making a community hub station one day. I think the devs need to rethink this plan somewhat to include both personal and shared storage, or we will see a rise in alt accounts and griefers. Next up, Lowry weighs in on the launch of Starbase, which he called a dumpster fire. And while the team knew it would be tough, sometimes you just have to jump into a burning dumpster fire and build up from there. Now I won't deny the launch did have some issues, but in my opinion, and that of the others that have also refuted him, it wasn't too rocky, and could have gone much worse. And a lot of the critical issues were sorted very quickly, which is in stark contrast to something like Last Oasis, which had basically unplayable servers for several weeks. So huge thanks to the devs that worked long hours and weekends to make sure the game kept running and the bugs kept getting fixed. And before you all jump in at me at the comments, yes, I know there are still plenty of bugs to get sorted, but let's be grateful for the ones that have. It's been a quiet week for Larry, so I just have one more quote for you, and this one's both on the new nav chips and respawning, as someone asked if they could get the location mapped with the new upcoming device and transfer back to Origin. Larry says it won't be possible as Endo looting is coming at the same time as the nav device. A quick note on this, they never planned for you to transfer around with your items in early access, they just couldn't finish the looting mechanic in time. So I'll warn you all now, after this update comes you will drop everything in your inventory on respawn, so get used to not using the transfer as a quick travel now. The devs most likely will not replace lost inventory because you didn't read the patch notes. I'm hoping they pop up with a big UI window in game explaining this new mechanic, as many people would have gotten too used to using the transfer system as such. This week's progress report is feature focused, and we're looking at capital ships this time round. In the gallery section we're starting off with a fresh look at the liquid exorium tank that capital ships will use to fuel its generators. That's right, the little red ring rods that you use in the tier 2 and 3 generators use the same stuff. And given the size of this thing, you're going to need a lot of exorium to fill it. Our next image is the capital ship size generator unit, and you can see the large similarity of design between its much smaller counterpart. Our last image is something we've seen before, the nav data chip saver. This time it's had a facelift with the model being further refined, as well as a new texture applied. This is the device that you want to fly around and gather points for which you want to jump to in your capital ship. Then bring that data back and install it into your capital ship. As I said earlier, we have another refinement to the info the devs are sharing, and this week it's looking more like a readiness report for capital ships. So let's break it down, and for the colorblind among you, I will also describe the progress too, so don't worry about the color of the dots. Starting with construction and devices, capital ship docks needed to build a capital ship in or to dock with have completed both the design and art phases, but code is still ongoing. For this I'm sure some fixes to station easy build mode will also help these too, since many people can't even get them working in the first place. Easy build mode for the building of the capital ship itself is also in progress for all 3 areas. My guess is that once your area is active, easy build mode will no longer affect the station and will switch automatically to the capital ship building. Capital ship modules. These too are in progress in all areas, and just like ship modules, these will no doubt be larger complete pre-designed sections of capital ships. This will greatly speed up capital ship building as long as you've got the parts on hand. Integrity check is in progress for design and code, with its art not having started yet. Just like our normal ships, capital ships will need to support themselves due to stress of fast travel, so that art here may be something akin to the 2 durability tool modes for normal ships. Autonomous devices, this one is complete across the board, but I'm clueless as to what this relates to as no examples have ever been given. Supply conduct and supply conduct nexus, this seems to be a little spelling error on Frozen Byte's part and may also be renamed to substation. There is conflicting information on this, but again, just like normal ships and soon stations too, capital ships will need their own resource network for moving items, ore, fuel and power around the ship. And this too is currently complete across the board. Device screen. This is design and code complete with its missing art assets not yet started. This screen will give access to the different devices on your capital ship. And lastly for this area, a resource screen which again is design and code complete but missing its art. This will give resource statistics for the ship. I'm hoping this relates to carried items and ore, similar to the cell terminals but without the endless scrolling of ore stacks. On a side note, can we please get this for normal ships? I'd love to have a cargo readout for my normal ship cargo. Our next section is fast travel requirements, and it's kind of a crossover with the devices too. Firstly is the exorium tank. This was shown in the gallery, and this stores what looks like a very large amount of a liquid exorium, and it's fully complete in all areas. In terms of a normal ship generator, think of this as the fuel rod. The exorium processing unit is also complete and ready to go in all areas. This processes the exorium from the tank and sends it to the generator to be produced into power, and its equivalent would be the fuel rod chamber on a normal ship. The generator unit is another complete item across the board, and it's like for like with the smaller ship's generator unit. There's no word yet though on how much power this huge beast kicks out. Fast travel core. This is a device that will spend days charging up to complete a warp jump. Without it and a new nav location to go to, you won't be going anywhere. It says here it provides power to the thrusters, but more on that in a moment. The fast travel core is also fully complete and ready to go. Propellant tank. This is nearly complete with only code still being left in progress, and it does exactly what you expect and give thrusters something to burn. Now onto one of the most confusing items onto the list, the thrusters themselves. for the simple fact capital ships can only warp jump from point to point, and actually having thrusters seems somewhat of a redundant thing, but certainly more infuriating since they can't actually move the ship normally. So think of these like warp nacelles on Star Trek ships, and the warp core is the guidance computer. These two are design and art complete, with only code left to finish. The higher the mass of your capital ship, the more of these you will need to engage the warp travel. Shield generator, complete and ready to go. This protects the ship during fast travel and provides the ship with its safe zone. This will be a key target for defenders during a siege to cripple the attacking military capital ship, maybe long enough for reinforcements to retake the station should they lose it. Navigation chips. These chips are used to save nav data to, and are used by the capital ship to determine its jump location, and these are fully complete. Navigation chip data saver. This is the large device shown in the gallery. This actually isn't a component of the cap ships, but similar to the gate travel core. You will bolt this to the ship large enough to carry one and take it to the location you want to jump to, and record the nav data for the jump. Design has been completed with art ongoing. Coding for this device though has not been started. Refueling gameplay. With new larger devices and new types of fuel, it's obvious that this one will come with different gameplay to make and refuel them. Design and art are complete, with coding still in progress. Fast travel screen. It looks like fast travel of cap ships will be controlled from a central screen that will show available nav data to jump to. Design and code have been completed for this, but it is still missing its art, which has not yet been started. Lastly, other features is our last section, and this starts with integrity screen. This will no doubt relay data from the integrity check, but has not yet been started in any area. Substation screen is design complete with art in progress, and code not having been started yet. This screen will show all the substations within the ship, and again no info on what this data will actually include. Device priority screen. This is a second feature that is not started in any area yet, but will let players choose the order of which devices have power priority over others. This may be needed if you run low on auxiliary fuel or if there has been damage. Factory halls and cargo halls apparently are not just limited to stations, but will be buildable within capital ships too, and used to store items, ships, and use ship devices inside of. These are both design and art complete, but code is still in progress. And we're not done yet, as I found a really cool video by user Gray26 on Reddit where he shows off an awesome mech build. Utilising robot arms as arms and legs for the mech, he's plated these up and even armed it with autocannons too. As a longtime mecha and robot fan, I wholeheartedly approve of making fun designs like this. I've linked the full video below so you can go check out more of it if you want to. Don't forget you can send any funny or awesome clips and recordings my way for a chance to be featured on the channel. Feel free to contact me via Discord or come jump on my Discord server, which is also home to my faction, the K-Bots. As always, please smash that like button, share the video with your friends and faction, leave a comment with any questions you want answers to, and I'll see you in the next one. Kenetor, out.